Hi, I'm so happy we're here together. So for today's class, please have a chair handy, and then if you need to prop your chair with a pillow. See, mine's not even very big. My grandma knitted this, needle pointed it. So, so sweet. And so it doesn't even have to be big, but we do want to be positioning our hips slightly above our knees. So look at that in my body here. And then go ahead and please shift to one side and grab your opposite butt and your inner thigh, and you're rolling it back. So there's an internal rotation, and then go ahead and lift your butt just a little bit, pull the butt cheeks out and wide, and that just creates this really nice strong foundation, a base for us to root into, to feel supported with, so that we can rise our energy without losing our ground. My beautiful friend, Katie Ward, who also teaches the Bowspring, and she's in this group right now, I really love the way that she talks about the ribs in relationship to the hips. And we could think of the ribs as a hot air balloon, and the air balloon is lifting up into the sky, and the hips are the basket in the hot air balloon. And then the ropes that are attaching the hot air balloon to the basket are our belly. And so we want space between the hot air balloon and the basket. And that is what allows us to experience way more softness, length, and then eventually, y'all, strength. Wow, so much strength happens with length. So let's try it out today. So please come to a seat, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an angle because it can be helpful to see my body in motion. And my feet are stepped just right, just a sliver behind the knees. And let's take the hands to the belly and just give yourself some nice soft touch, similar to how you would touch a loved one. And beginning to sip in some deep breaths through your nose. This practice really focuses on nostril breathing. And taking a moment as you breathe so deep and long that your belly expands into your hands. And on its way to filling up your belly, your breath that is, it expands through your ribs, and you really begin to light up and widen through the side ribs, getting a little bit taller through your spine. Consciously relax your lower back and consciously relax your belly so that a little bit more space can be experienced as you elevate the ribs and root the hips. Elevate the hot air balloon and root the basket. Go ahead and slide your touch to your side waist. And I like to give myself a little massage here. Look at where I'm massaging. It's just right above the sacrum, right at that QL muscle. And we're just inviting these muscles to soften because they can have a tendency to overwork. And then as they soften, they're just gently accentuating into this gentle lower back curve, and the belly can then bow, it can open. Okay, walk your hands up to your ribs, give yourself a little massage here. And then hold the side of the ribs in this horseshoe hand position, fingers on the front body, thumbs on the back body. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. When we breathe deep, we communicate to our nervous system that it's all good, we're safe, it's okay to relax. Allow your ribs to fill like a hot air balloon, so they're widening through the back bottom ribs and simultaneously widening and expanding through the side and the front ribs. Go ahead and cross your arms at a low hug, and your hands are in this kind of cup hand, the fingers are together, and you just hold the side of the ribs. Kind of walk your elbows more together to hold these side ribs. Then gently, with the fullness of your breath, push your ribs into your hands. And let's take a gentle arc as you push your hands in and then begin to arc to the right. Your right hand, this is a little bit of a brain teaser, your right hand is going to push in and up on your left ribs. Now just sit your hips back so they widen back to the chair. They're not coming up with your ribs. Lift through center. Let's take an arc to the left, pushing in with your left hand and pushing up on the right rib. A little bit of a brain twister. That's so good for us. Take a breath, deep, wide into your hands, expanding your ribs on the way. Inhale, lift. Let's lift the arms now into hug arms, these top hug arms. Walk your hands to your scapula blades and allow that space in the back heart to really widen. Now you can relax your elbows down as you're holding. I just can't because of my mic. And the arm that is crossed on top, you're going to arc in that opposite direction. For instance, my right arm is crossed on top and I'm going to arc to the left. Lift your top rib into the air as you relax your traps. Lift your ribs and notice as you lift your ribs, your belly lengthens, and then levitate the right ribs high to the sky. Seal your lips, separate your teeth, breathe through your nose. Let your inhale guide you to center, switch out the cross of the arms, opening more space through the back of the heart. Lift, and then take a gentle arc to the opposite direction. Your top rib is lifting away from your bottom hip. As the ribs lift, soften the traps. We don't want them to do the work, all the work for us. We want the ribs to really find new elevation through this energy of expansive lift and lift back through center. Good job, my friends. Please lower your hands to your thighs. Thumbs on the inseam of your legs, fingers on the outseam. Then, with a micro bend in your elbows, notice my elbows are wide, just gently push into your legs with your hands to elevate your ribs as a unit. We don't want to just go like this. We want 360 degrees width to lift through the ribs. So it's just a gentle push down to rise up. Great. Okay, now hover your heels. I'm going to scoot back so you can see my feet just a little bit more. Hover the heels, and this is like a hair width distance from the ground. I'm going to teach you how to begin to engage the back chain of muscles that helps to support softening your lower back. When our lower back softens, we can find more length through our belly. So we call this dig drag. So hover your heels a feather width distance from the ground. Push the paw is the top of the foot, okay? Push the paw forward and down like you're doing this on your chair. You're trying to do that, push yourself back, but it's more energetic, okay? It's more energetic. Can you feel your quads engage? I can when I dig, pushing the paws forward and down. Now, we're gonna complement that action of the front quads working while toning the back body simultaneously. So now begin to go the opposite way. Drag your heels back like you're doing a hamstring curl or you're trying to scoot your chair forward. Do you notice your hamstrings begin to lift and tone into your femur bone? Awesome. Let's do it one more time. Dig, pause, press forward and down. It's like you're scooting yourself back into the chair. Then drag, squeezing your heels back and up. Awesome. Now soften your lower back, and we don't want to overwork. So soften any grrr energy or gripping and just find the engagement of a gentle tone. Widen your butt into your seat and elevate your ribs. Awesome. Hover your heels, slide your heels back about an inch, and then we're going to push into the ground. Widen the hips back, keep them wide as you come to stand. Low globe the hands, all of the thing, just this two dome hands, fingertips touch, elbows wide, bend, sit your seat back, but keep the weight more forward through the paws of your feet as you lower to your chair. Ribs on the rise, shift the weight forward through the paws, here for 3, bending, sitting back into a chair, and we're being mindful of not dropping your butt on the way. 2 more. So dropping your butt would be like this and going down and shortening your belly. Can you feel that connection of hips wide, ribs high, and the belly gets long? Okay. So you can do this every time you lift and lower from a chair. It's so cool, the way that all of this becomes applicable. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn my body around and I'm gonna face my chair. Step your feet wide, and you wanna be maybe like a foot from your chair. You might have to kind of negotiate this space as you check this out. So now bend your knees forward and take your hands to the back of the chair. Now I wanna be mindful of not just leaning back onto the back legs. So we wanna just push down and sort of drag it forward just a little bit. Notice that the ribs stay lifted, side ribs stay wide. Bend your knees and widen your butt back. Push into the chair to elevate your ribs and soften your belly. Take a couple of pulses here. You're light through the heels, rooted through the paws of your feet. Feeling your double S curve plugging into those natural curves of the spine. Hips are wide, sitting bones are broad, ribs are wide. Belly is long. Walk your hands to the base of your chair and you're going to scoot your chair out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and ditch my pillow and walk your feet back just a couple of inches. So the arms are at a vector, and now a soft little bend into your knees. Now soften your belly. Push into your chair to elevate your ribs. Bend, and then booty is on the rise as you extend. Keep your belly long as you bend and extend for 3. So usually we're used to doing forward folds with a closed belly like this, right? Let's do it with an open belly to experience more benefit. Now bend into your left leg, extend your right. Push down, so you're shifting your hips to the left. Push down through your right paw, that's the front of your foot. Micro bend your right knee. And begin to widen your right butt towards the sky. Relax your belly. Bend into your knees, come back to center. Bend into your right knee, extend your left. Push down through the paw. Micro bend your left knee, right butt widens. Do you feel this in your inner thighs? Do a couple more times on each side. Just do it at your own breath count. And your toes stay glued to the ground. Your heels stay light. Okay, meet me in center. This is our last little hurrah here. Push into your chair. Notice when you push into the chair with your arms, your ribs elevate. Now, bend your knees forward. Begin to squeeze your heels back like we were in the chair doing that drag position, squeezing your heels back as you take 3 bend and extends. Space your teeth, seal your lips. Allow the tongue to soften to the roof of the mouth. Bend into your knees and walk your hands to your knees. And let's lift into a standing position. Okay, here we are in standing. Let's take it into hug arms. Wrap your right arm over your left. Really fill, widen, more space through the back heart. Lift your ribs. Root your legs and your hips. Remember that basket energy. Begin to arc your ribs high to the sky, arcing to the left. Bend your knees and imagine that you're sitting back into your chair. Get light through your heels as you now extend. Bend. And then you can even add on here, just noticing what it would feel like to squeeze your heels back just a little bit. Activating the back body. Lift. Switch out the cross of arms. Lift your ribs, so full of life. And let's take an arc to the right. Left ribs are on the rise. Oh, sit back. And then when you sit back, resist just dropping the hips down, right? We don't want to do this. That's shortening the belly. Keep the belly long as the hips root, ribs rise. And I'm trying to give you a couple of angles so that you can see the different ways that my body is moving here. And inhale, lift. Begin to open your arms from a full rib cage, and the arms stay in the front plane of the body. Just pause here for a moment and open your belly, relax your traps, fill your ribs, bend your knees, shift the weight more forward through the paws of the feet. You're just light through the heels. This, my friends, is a power pose. This is when we say yes to life. Say yes to this moment. Open your belly. Cross your right wrist over your left, keeping the arms more in the front plane of the body. Take a gentle arc to the left. Bend your elbows wide, so they're more wide rather than here. Wide. Yeah, right ribs high. Notice that my left ear is arcing behind my shoulder. We're going to bring it back to center to take it to the opposite side. Left arm crosses and take a gentle arc. Bend your knees, sit your bum back. And then notice you don't have to sit back very far. I'm kind of sitting back very far. Your pulses could be in the span of just a couple of inches. Doesn't have to be much to get a lot. Breathe more space between the bottom of your left rib, the top of your left hip as you come to rise. Exhale, lower your hands to your thighs. And we're going to walk it down and to finish class out with a humble cat. So this is a really nice hip opener. Okay, bend your knees. Lower one hand to the ground, followed by the other. Now typically, well, most people are lowering like this. They're going to be lowering like this. See that? Okay, so the way that we want to not lower like that is when you shift the weight more forward through the pause and take a longer step with your hand, and your hips will be more successful at rooting back behind you. Okay, come into this all fours position, stepping the hands at a vector energy. So what I mean by that is the hands are a little bit more wide and more in front of the shoulders, but just minusculely, not too wide, not too forward. So now push into the ground to find your radiant back heart filling. Begin to open through your front heart. Walk your knees a little closer together. Peel your left knee open for humble cat. We talked about this yesterday in yesterday's class, so we want the left foot to be more at a diagonal instead of a 90 degree. Okay, widen and lift your butt towards the sky. Push into the ground and then bloom your butt behind you. Imagine that you're sprouting a tail. Can you feel the space between your ribs and your hips? Now we're going to move inside of that space that we're cultivating. Sit the hips back only a few inches. Pull the ribs forward. This pulsing is so soothing to the nervous system. It's like when the nervous system is upset, like think about a baby. What we do to soothe the baby is we bring it gentle bounces, gentle pulses. That movement is very calming. Okay, lower your left foot, your left knee. Let's take it to the other side. Open your right knee, step your right foot. And then, of course, if we step it too far forward, what happens? We come into a short belly. So we want to pull it back. Make sure that the right foot is at a diagonal. Push the floor away with your arms and notice that your ribs expand. The hot air balloon lifts. Bloom your butt behind you in that gentle pelvic tilt forward, softening through your lower back and relax your belly. Deepen your breath and then bring gentle movement. For 3, 2, and 1. Lower your right foot and your right knee. Okay, to finish out class, we're just going to do a little bit of thigh root with both of your hands. You're in this kneeling position. With both of your hands and cup hand, all of the fingers are together. You're going to angle your fingers in and hold the palms of your hands are at the top of your thighs. Fingers point in towards your groin. Now, pressure your, begin to mold your inner thigh tissue back and then bloom your butt back behind you. And I'm just giving it some real strength with my arms to root my hips. And then lower your hips to your heels. And take a deep breath. Maybe close your eyes just to mindfully close our practice, letting the energy settle for a moment and just pausing to notice how you feel. Slowly opening your eyes. And let's just take a low globe hand position. So this is at belly button height. All of the fingertips touch except the pinkies. And we're creating more width in the space of our hands. And then letting this hand position reflect the fullness of our heart. So letting your ribs lift, the home of your heart, this optimistic energy, this light that we're remembering. And bow inward to yourself for making you a priority on this beautiful Wednesday. The ways that you feed yourself, that you nourish yourself, bow to that energy that you are cultivating, and then inhale from that place. We can lift our arms, like rays of the sun opening to this beautiful moment that awaits us. Good job, everybody. Yay! Okay, I'm giving you a high five, virtual high five. So curious how you feel. So curious if you have any questions. It's so unfortunate that I can't see any of the comments in this live video. And so if you have any, please, I'll be online for a little bit after this class, and definitely reach out to me. So I really appreciate your time and your energy and your willingness to work with me here. I know that this was a little bit more than 15 minutes. I think it was like 18 or something like that, but we're all learning here, and what a blessing it is to be with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love from my radiant heart to yours. Yay. See you soon.